Piece in the Financial Times, insurers prepare for wave of First Brands claims. Remember, First Brands is the auto parts manufacturer that went belly up with their creditors thinking they had about, $6 billion in debt outstanding, and it turns out it's somewhere in double digits. I do have to also just read something from Matt Levine. Do either of you read his stuff on a regular basis?
I don't have to because I know you do and bring it up frequently.
So Matt Levine, in my opinion, is the best writer in finance these days, and his Bloomberg page, okay, it was giving me an error for a second. So he wrote this yesterday, 2:27 p.m. It's titled, First Brands is Missing Some Money. Like, Matt's just really, he has my sense of humor. It's kind of dry and, but he understands this stuff better than I do, and so he just writes it, really, really well. But this is the big thing that, has come to light here. So we covered this on our show yesterday. There's, potentially, $2.3 billion in assets that's just missing from First Brands. And this is what he writes. He goes, the latter allegation came in a demand for an investigation from Raystone, a trade finance platform. The request for an appointment of an independent examiner follows an October 2nd email exchange in which a bankruptcy lawyer for First Brands told Raystone that advisors don't know if the auto parts supplier has received an estimated $1.9 billion. Quote, first, do we know whether FBG actually received $1.9 billion no matter what happened to it? Raystone lawyer Emmanuel Grillo asked in an October 2nd email. Second, would you tell us how much is in the segregated accounts in respect of the factored receivables today? So, how much of that money's actually there? The First Brands restructuring lawyer Sunny Singh said in response, number one, we don't know. Number two, zero. So, they don't know how much money actually came in, and there's nothing sitting in the account that's referenced there.
Somebody's going to jail.
This
and it's going to be some low-level accountant, but he's going to jail.
This is no longer a story about a company that just borrowed too much and got out over its skis.
Yeah.
There is very likely criminal activity going on here in some form of the accounting. It may be, embezzlement. It may be just, bad report. Either way, after, Enron and everything, CFOs are, supposed to be held personally liable for this kind of stuff. And they're this is the kind of thing where here's the deal. If you don't have accurate financial reporting, whether a public or private company, then you don't have an economy because you can't trust anyone to make deals with.
So, important question in my view. When this first came out, my point was this has the possibility of sending reverberations through the private credit industry. We saw some of that with lenders being down this year. Generally, the private credit and private equity companies that play in this space have struggled with their stock prices. Does the fact that this is pointing more and more towards fraud alleviate any concerns on the private credit side of things?
No, in my mind, it worsens them. Because effectively, the reason why private credit is attractive is the underwriting's easier. You've taken all this stuff away from banks who if you've ever tried to get a loan for a bank as a business, it's just relentless. It's just okay, one thing after another. Oh, keep giving me this. Oh, can you send me your most recent statements? Well, I just did that last week. Yeah, send me your next one. It keeps coming. Because banks are nervous by nature. They're just they're scared of losing money. Private credit is the Wild West. They're wildcatters. They're just out there okay, fine, throw it in the portfolio. We can repack it.
And here's the evidence of that.
And this is the
Nobody
thing.
detected it.
No, all of these companies that were lending money to First Brands, they didn't know there was a problem. And so if they didn't know there was a problem in First Brands, do you think this is the only place where this happened in the private credit world? I do not. I'm not that naive.
I don't think it's the only place that outright fraud has happened. But even if it is, there are other situations you have to worry about than outright fraud as a lender.
The Tricolor situation was not a situation of outright fraud. That happened 2 weeks before this.
Right.
We're not sitting here in any way, shape, or form being Tricolor had a bunch of fraud and this and that and yada yada. Actually,
maybe a little.
I take it back. It might not have been on the Tricolor side, but we do have instances recorded of vehicle VINs that have been claimed to back different tranches of loans from them. So, look, quite honestly, I've been saying for the last week or two, something in the auto sector stinks. I hope y'all are smelling what I'm smelling right now, because it's not coming up roses. Like, something stinks in the auto sector, and it's getting stronger here when you just have $2 billion in assets missing.